Here is a very small question for all of you. And the question is, if you have to choose between smartness and being bold, what would you choose? I don't want to know why. I just want to know what would you choose? Can I have the poll, please? There is going to be a poll which will come onto your screens. And then all you need to do is choose smart or bold. In the meanwhile, you can think. Which do you think would you like to choose? Being smart or being bold? Okay, that is very interesting. I'm going to open some threads, and then as the session progresses, we are going to create a beautiful fabric out of these open threads. So let's shift from this thread, smart and being bold, to another thread. What is the biggest factor behind we not getting what we want? Okay, this is just a rhetorical question. I just want you to think about it. And then here is the answer. The biggest factor behind why we don't get what we want is fear. Fear. Digest it. The biggest factor and why we don't get what we want is fear. Three kinds of fear. Fear of failure. What if I don't get it right? Fear of rejection. Will people accept me? And the third, fear of not being good enough. Sometimes we think we are just not good enough. Humse nahi ho payega. So these are the three fears. Fear of failure. If I don't do it right, what will people think about me? If I don't get it right, will my confidence go for a toss? If I don't get it right, will I ever take any other initiative? Fear of failure. Fear of rejection. What if others don't accept me? What if they are sarcastic towards me? What if they laugh at me? And the third, fear of not being good enough. I know I have this opportunity. I know this can be a breakthrough. I know so much can happen through this opportunity, but I don't think I am good enough. All these three things in turn, if I have to bring them on one platform, all these three in turn have one thing in common, and that is self-doubt. All these three things have one thing common, and that is self-doubts. You know what self-doubts does? Because of self-doubts, we resist change. Because of self-doubts, we don't start. Let's say I have Swati as the chief coordinator this year, and she mirrors herself with Prashant, Vikas, Satish, Joe. And if she has self-doubt, oh my God, they tell stories so well, will I be able to do the same? And if she holds on to this self-doubt, she will resist change. Now, what is the change we are speaking about over here? Maybe she needs to prepare a lot. And so far in life, she has got by without preparing or preparing less. Now she needs to change. And I have self-doubts, so I resist change. Maybe I tell Swati, you have to change your style a little. You are a serious speaker. And we need to become a little interactive, a little humorous, and often self-depreciating. खुद के ऊपर हंसी मजाक करना आना चाहिए. And she says, what? Anyway, the world makes fun of me. I should also make fun of myself. But darling, when you make fun of yourself, you look like a very friendly person. An egoistic person, if you make fun of them, they take it to heart. They will switch themselves off from you. If you yourself are able to make fun of yourself, people know you don't have ego. And therefore, it's very easy to relate to. Oh, I'll explain all of this. But if she has self-doubts, she will resist change. I don't want to change. In fact, everybody who wants me to change is against me. Even if I know what they are saying is right, I still believe they are against me and they don't understand me. And damn it, I don't want to change. Think about school now. A child is studying in class 9 and in class 9 they come first and then they say, I won't change my class. I'll remain in class 9 for the rest of my life. The child who's studying in class 10 right now, wouldn't they want to change from class 10 to class 11 from their school to a junior college? Change means growth. Change means life. Change means development. Change means progress. But because we have self-doubts, we resist change with all our might. All our might. If I have to go away from KMM and talk about our lives, let's say Abhijit tells something to his child and the child resists change. I'm not going to do this. And Abhijit might say, little practice and you'll do well. I don't want to do it. Now, Abhijit might see it as a rebellion. Actually, the truth is, the child is having self-doubts. Abhijit attempts to correct the rebellion by punishment. The self-doubt of the child increases now. So whenever you see somebody who is resisting change, understand it is not about rebellion. It's not about defiance. It is not about they don't like you. It's about they carry self-doubts. Now in the class, you will say it in a way where even if some children in the class are not cooperative, if let's say you are doing it digitally and the cameras are switched off, it is not that they are not sincere enough. It is just that they have self-doubts. So right now in this session, there are a few cameras which are switched off. So many of them, it is not about rebellion. It's not about laziness. It's not about I care a damn. For many of them, they have a little self-doubt. मैं 2 घंटा बैठ पाएगा क्या? If they see where I am, if they see my house, what will they think about me? Etc. etc. So fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of not being good enough, all of these has a base in self-doubts. And when there is a self-doubt, I resist change. And when there is self-doubt, the second thing happens. I don't start. I keep postponing things. So self-doubt creates these two things in us. One, we resist change. And two, we don't start. So always remember this. Self-doubt does two things to us. We resist change and we don't start. Now let me come back to the original question that I asked you in the beginning of the session. Would you prefer smartness or would you prefer boldness? Now let me take you a little deeper in that question. Very smart people fail. You know why? Smart people fail because they can see everything that can go wrong. They're smart. They're able to analyze properly. They're able to see the chances of things going wrong. So if Swati is smart, all the intelligence in the world, and when she's told, would you become a coordinator, she can visualize everything that can go wrong. Her analysis is brilliant. Sometimes current might fail. Sometimes children's health may not be good. Sometimes there might be guests at home. Sometimes my husband's mood may not be right. Sometimes my mood may not be there. Itna analyze karegi. She's smart. Because she's smart, she does brilliant analysis. And in that brilliant analysis, she can see everything that can go wrong. And this fills her with self-doubt. इतने सारे ऑब्स्टेकल को मैं कैसे ओवरकम करेंगी? And hence she does not start. Or she postpones. Or she says next year, no, I am not ready for it now. After 2 years, maybe. Thank you so much, but no, not at all. In my experience of 23 years in training, I've seen this. Unfortunately, the smarter you are, the more is the possibility of you having self-doubts. The smarter you are, the more is the possibility of you resisting change. The smarter you are, the more is the possibility of you not starting. I leave you with this thought, and I want you to doubt what I am saying. But think about the numerous opportunities in life that you haven't grabbed in many, many places, and you can credit it to your smartness. Now comes bold people. Bold people keep thinking about what can go right. They're bold, right? Their nature is to visualize how will things still fall into place. So Devanshi is bold. So even if the auto breaks down 1 kilometer away, she can walk and go. Now, if she was super smart, she will think, कपड़े गीले हो जाएंगे, गीले कपड़ों के संग में सबके सामने कैसे सेशन लूंगी, फिर जुकाम हो सकता है, फिर खांसी हो सकती है, people will doubt I have COVID, then my friends will not go out anywhere with me, I will have to be isolated inside my house. And she will call Joe and say, extremely sorry, Joe, I'm really sorry, really sorry, but you know, the auto has broken down and there may be a COVID panic. So can you arrange for some other speaker? मतलब इतनी स्मार्ट है ना, इतना एनालाइज करेगी ना, and all her points in her head are zero defect points. On the other hand, Devanshi is very bold. She says, जो होगा देखा जाएगा. Let me just go ahead and get this done. I am not somebody who's going to give up. I am somebody who's going to go on. After all, we are called keep moving movement. We are not called keep standing movement, keep withdrawing movement, keep going back home movement. It's keep moving movement. चलो निकलो आगे. What can go wrong? और ये कोई गड्ढा होगा, उसमें मैं गिर जाएगी, मेरा एंकल ट्विस्ट हो जाएगा, फिर कैसे होएगा? Super smart ना? All analysis. Super bold ना? Let's get it done यार. I know right now some of you are thinking, no, being smart is very important. You are right. But being bold is even more important. The soldiers at the border, they are super bold. Okay, that's my opinion. Forget about it. So let me ask you again. If there is a choice between being bold and being smart, if there is a choice between being bold and being smart, what would you choose? As you are sharing, we say, I have seen so many incredible people with incredible potential and incredible opportunities. They have so many things going right in their life, but they are more smart and less bold. Hence, they justify why they should not change. On the other hand, there are some people who don't have so many opportunities. They don't have a base. Fortunately, they are bold. With that little that they get, 1% opportunity, they will create a life out of it. They will create a light out of it. Boldness is the secret sauce of achievements. It's not brilliance, but it is boldness, which is the secret sauce of achievements. Let's go back to the title of the session. Why you won't get what you want. Smartness is not the issue. Boldness is the issue. Lack of confidence kills many more dreams than lack of ability. Lack of confidence kills many more dreams than lack of ability. That's why you see the gold medalist need not go on to live an extraordinary life. And the backbencher in a class might do exceptionally well. It is very rare that boldness and brilliance are found in one person. I'm not saying anything about me, but just thinking. I know what you are thinking about me, so thank you so much. And this is what I want you to do inside the classroom. So we are not saying have only boldness and not smartness. Then you will be that man from Kalidas's story who's cutting the branch of the tree on which you're sitting. But I'm saying be bold. If your smartness is less, you will still do very well in life. It's not about being brilliant and your boldness is very low. You will lose it. If you can be an incredible combination of boldness and smartness, very rare. Very rare when I say I'm speaking about the world. In KMM, though, it's available in abundance. Right now I can see 291 people who are bold and smart. Am I right? सही है ना? It's very rare to have bold and smart people together in marriage. Mukul and Swapnil, couple of bold and smart people together. बहुत rare है. लेकिन कहीं होता है. And I'll speak about all of them who I'm seeing as Rakhi and Prashant. Good news is, boldness is a skill that can be practiced and harnessed. Nobody is born with boldness. Knowingly or unknowingly, boldness gets nurtured. Unknowingly, our parents would have given us some exposure. Ja tu kar kya tu kar sakta hai kinds. And we would have gone. A teacher would have said, come, go up the stage. You can do a good work. So knowingly or unknowingly, boldness is a quality which is nurtured. So the good news is, our boldness can be developed through a little practice. It can be harnessed through a little practice. But as I speak about boldness, some people say, but what if I fail? See, failing never makes you a failure. It is giving up that makes you a failure. Look into the life of any successful person and you'll see so many failures in their life. The difference between somebody who excelled and somebody did not is not failures. All of us fail. The difference between the two is somebody gave up, and they gave up because they were not bold enough. So it is never failing that makes you a failure. It is giving up that makes us a failure. And I will say this very loudly 1,000,000 times. Rejection is always better than regrets. Rejection is always, as a rule, rejection is much better than regret. So many times in my life, I have asked for something and I've got it. And a few times in life, I've asked for something and I've not got it. But if I had never asked, I wouldn't have got anything at all. In a brilliant survey which was done of over 160,000 employees, something extraordinary emerged. 83% employees believed that they deserve more money. In fact, all of you are working somewhere, chances are very high you believe the company is not paying you enough. You believe you deserve more money. And those of you businessmen, you might believe I deserve more margins. All the wives must be believing we deserve more love. And all the youngsters must be believing we deserve more pocket money, more freedom. So in a survey of 160,000 employees, 83% believe they deserve more money. But you know what? 68% people have never asked for a raise. %68 people never asked for a raise. And here is another stunning thing. Out of the people who asked, so about 32% people asked, more than 70% got a raise within 3 months. And those 68% people, they didn't get a raise. What was missing? Smartness? Boldness. What does this mean? Now listen very carefully to the statement. This means we do not chase what we want. We survey what is available, choose one and settle down. We don't chase what we want. Imagine the lion not chasing the deer. And silently in the mind, he's praying, my dear, oh dear, come to me. Now, which deer will volunteer? Which deer will say, oh dear lion, you need this deer? Okay, I'll come close to you. Please eat me. The lion has to chase the deer, right? He is the king of the jungle. Yet he has to chase. And if you and me think, no, I'm not going to chase. I'm a good person. Everything should come to me. Character does not make things happen. You have to chase. We do not chase what we want. We survey what is available and we settle down for one of it. उसमें मजा नहीं है, जोश नहीं, आक्रोश नहीं, कुछ खास बात नहीं है. We will settle down. I tell people, don't settle down, settle up. ये सेटलिंग डाउन क्या होता है? नीचे किधर जाना है? नीचे पाताल लोग है भाई, उधर शैतान रहते हैं, राक्षस लोग रहते हैं. Why you want to settle down? Up, heavens. Heavens are up, right? Why settle down? Chase it. If you want to live a life of your dreams, chase what you want. Don't take what is available. Chase what you want. Youngsters over here who are not yet married, you know what I'm saying. Don't just settle down for what is available. ये 3 बायो आया हुआ है, इसमें से कोई ये लल्लू है, ये तो बिल्कुल काम का नहीं है. ये अच्छा ठीक है, ये 3 में से एक से सेटल डाउन हो जाते हैं हम, because everybody is saying it's time for you to settle down. Don't chase what you want. How to do that? There are only 2 steps required to practice boldness. Now we are going to the core of the session. What we did right now was to build up the session. Now, what is the core of the session? There are only 2 steps required to develop boldness. Step number 1, just ask. लोगों को मांगने में शर्म आता है. क्यों? अरे मिल गया तो बहुत बढ़िया है, नहीं मिला तो कोई बात नहीं. Just ask. Now the question is, what should one ask? First, ask for permission. Ask for permission. For example, 1997, I had a desire that I want to be a trainer and I don't want to be a businessman. I was already married. Niru had already come into this world. Now I needed Bharti's 100% cooperation for me to be a trainer. Because a lot of things had to be sacrificed. So I told her, if I become a trainer, I can never take you to a 5-star hotel, but we can go out and have pani puri on the taparis. If I become a trainer, we can't go abroad for holidays, but we'll take these 3-day, 2-night trips somewhere close by. If I become a trainer, we won't be able to buy fancy stuff for our home. I may not be able to buy jewelry for you ever, but I'll give you a lot of love. It's my passion to be a trainer, not yours. You will have to make quite a few adjustments in life. And I won't become a trainer without your permission. It's not my life to live anymore. It's our life to live. So, karu training. Thankfully, my wife is a bold person. You know, our photographs can be labeled as the bold and the bald. हाँ सच्ची, मतलब मजाक थोड़े ना है, हकीकत है, ये जिंदगी की हकीकत है. And Bedu will say, when you are like this, our photograph can also be the dimple and the simple. बस इससे ज्यादा नहीं. Bharti told me, for the quality of husband you are, the quantity of money you bring is not important. I'm an educated girl. I will run the family. It's your passion to train. Just go ahead. It's almost like Anupam Kher saying, "Ja Simran ja, ji le apni zindagi." You know, that's how Bharti told me. Do what you wish to. I will take care of the family. I asked. Supposing I had not asked, you and me wouldn't have met. Keep moving movement wouldn't have happened. the millions of lives we have impacted wouldn't have data. Somewhere my waist size would have been 45 by now. I will have a lot of waste around my waist. I think that's why that place is called the waist. No? Otherwise, why that paste is not called beauty? It's a place where waste gets dumped. So what should you ask? First, ask for permission. Right now in the office, we have 3 amazing, if I can call them kids, who are doing internship. Alisha, Rakesh and Akshat. When KMM work was happening, they asked, can we create the videos? I'm sure they were very, very bored with the videos that featured me as a speaker all these years. Okay, come, join. They would have said, this is yaar. So they asked, can we create videos? And Joe was very clear. We are not going to show you anything. When it is posted, then you will be able to see it. Let the kids do it by themselves. Is that okay? I said, go ahead. And tell me, did you guys enjoy the videos that have been coming? First, wo air hostess type ka tha, abhi wo news wala tha. Did you see that Republic TV kite, Arnab Goswami kind, 2 people coming and the way they were debating with each other, and a KMM virus has struck them, etc., etc. How cute, yaar, how beautiful they are doing here. It's really, and I'm looking forward to every video now. By the time the second is done, I tell them third, when is it coming? And when they shoot, where they shoot, God only knows. They asked for permission. And they got it. The other day, Joe's birthday was there on 10th of July. By the way, my birthday is on 21st of July. Any one of you wants, I can send you the list of things that I want on my birthday. I'm a very, very reasonable person. So based on your income, I will not ask for more than 10%. Super reasonable person. 10th of July was Bharti Betu's birthday, and Snehal at office immediately said, sir, can we organize for cakes? I said, but Joe does not eat cakes. For some reason, she does not like cakes. Snehal said that we will manage, but please, sir, shall we bring? Said, well, if it is Joe's birthday and she agrees to eat cake, I have no issues in eating the rest of it. So please go ahead. They ordered cake and miraculously she ate. She asked for permission and she got it. My dad was dead against love marriages. For some reason, he believed love should happen after marriage, not before marriage. And my younger brother, Rakesh, fortunately, fell in love. Now, Papa will criticize people who go for love marriage like nobody's business. It was almost like a betrayal if you are going for love marriage. Now, this young boy, MBA college, did not only learn how to manage a business administration, but also learned how to manage his father. He asked permission. And how he asked permission is a story for some other day. But he got it. And he's married to the lady love of his life, who's now his wife. And they hardly have any strife. My brother asked for permission and he got it. So to become bold, learn how to ask. Why will you not ask? Because you're afraid of failure, you're not good enough, and you know that story. Go ahead and ask. Second, ask for help. First is ask for permission. Second is ask for help. You see this picture? If you need help, go ahead and ask. ना मैं सब अपने आप कर लेगा. क्यों भाई? पूछ ना, मदद ले ना. To distribute the worksheets for session number 1 to the speakers, we asked Swapnil and Mukulika for help and said, can you send your car? And he said, I'll send a car. I'll also send another person and they in turn will distribute. You don't have to give anybody from KMM or Life School's office for distribution. And the job was done fantastically well. Swapnil, Mukul, thank you so much. You have to ask for help. We had the KMM launch party and we asked Milind, darling, we need a good sound system. It was immediately provided. To create a superb jacket, okay? Boys and girls, something is coming for all of you. A very good jacket. We asked Sumit for his help, and he very, very happily and readily volunteered for help. And not only did he help, he helped us to save a few lakh rupees. How? In all our excitement, we said, we have about 500 plus registrations. Let's order for jackets for all. And Sumit said, Thamba, wait. I have been a coordinator and I know at least 25% people will drop out. If you distribute it right now, it might go to people who will never turn up again. So let's wait till session number 3. All those who survive session number 3, in session number 3, they should be shown a photograph of the jacket. And if they come till session number 5, then we'll give the jackets to them. Okay, not exactly this way, but Sumit and Joe had some conversation and they have decided to have certain things by which jackets will reach you. But he helped us save a couple of lakhs. Ask for help. That's why I'm telling you, 21st July, my birthday party, I want it to be very, very memorable. Okay. The party is in your home. You can order for any cake that you want. The gift address I will send you. Learn to ask for help. Third, ask for knowledge and clarity. If you don't know the answer to a topic, ask. If you're not sure whether your method is right, ask. If you're planning for a holiday, ask people who have been there, how's the experience like? You want to go abroad and study, ask people who have already been to those colleges about could they get a great job after that? How are the professors over there? Don't go by the website and don't go by the education counselor. Go and ask people who have had the same experience about how good the experience is. You want to join a gym? Ask people who are already going to the gym. Do you regret joining this gym? Given a chance, would you like to join some other gym? Ask for knowledge and clarity. And the next two are very, very powerful asks. Ask for validation. It's okay to ask for validation. You have a thought? Get it confirmed. You believe engineering is the right course for you? Get that belief validated. You think you should have a startup? Get it validated. Get your idea validated by people who have had startups. You think you should go completely digital and you're convinced about it? Find people who have gone digital, share your ideas with them, and let them say, this is a great idea and you must pursue it. In today's world, getting validated is easy and necessary. So ask for validation. And finally, this is the biggest point in the session. Ask for opportunities and responsibilities. Spider-Man said, no, with great power comes great responsibility. I would also say, with great responsibility comes great power. With great responsibility comes great power. So Swati takes over as the KMM coordinator for this year. It is not just great responsibility that she has. She also has the power to influence 10,000 children's lives. She has the power to influence 300 very active volunteers' lives. She has the power to interact with Naren and Joe very closely for 3 months and learn and grow and develop and soar in her life. Great responsibilities always give you great power. You're a businessman. You have the responsibility to run that shop. You have the power to influence thousands of lives. You are a parent. You have the responsibility to nurture your child. You also have the power to create an extraordinary human being for this planet who might create a deep impact in the life of millions. With great responsibility comes great power. The best way to develop yourself and to take huge strides towards your goals is asking for opportunity and asking for responsibilities. Take it. That's why I love it when somebody comes and says, I would like to be the AC next year. Tell me what should be done. And I said, this person is going to rock and roll. They are willing to take responsibility and they have the boldness to ask for it. Awesome combination. I was made the head boy of my school. I was scared. Like Swati, I was scared. Will I be able to do it? But then I was forced to be the head boy. And I loved that year, 1986, when I was the head boy of my school, Heartless High School in Calcutta. That year became the turning point of my life. From an introvert, I became an extrovert. From a person for whom life was all about studies, I became life was all about studies and sports and extracurricular activities. So much of my life changed. I became a communicator from being a silent person that year. And the greatest lesson out of that is, Naren, the greater responsibilities you take, the more power you have, and the faster you take strides towards your goals. After that, I've always gone ahead and asked for opportunities to lead and nurture. I've never waited for anybody to give me responsibilities. I've asked for responsibilities. Because I know when I take responsibilities, I develop myself. Responsibilities are not a burden. Responsibility are opportunities. Show me one person who has progressed brilliantly in life without assuming responsibilities. Show me one person who has done exceptionally well in life without assuming responsibilities. Not possible. Not possible. So the greater responsibilities you take, the bigger dreams you can have. And the more responsibilities you will assume, the stronger you will become. So you develop your boldness by asking for responsibilities and grabbing opportunities. And I can give you so many examples from my life. And in the classroom, you will give examples from your life. And this is where this session becomes interesting. We announced the sports convention. My desire was we should have a 21-kilometer run. When I asked in the life lessons, there are about 150 life schoolers were present, that how many of you believe we should do this? 2 of them raised their hands. Everybody else believed very difficult, can't be done. I took the responsibility of changing their mindset. Chalo, sabka dimag change karo. Health has to become a part of their life. What did I do? In 2 weeks' time, in a place where all of them were practicing for sports convention, practicing volleyball, football, etc., etc. So the practice session will go on from 5:45 in the morning till about 8:30. I reached there at 5:30, warmed myself up. And as they were doing the practice, for about 2 hours, 45 minutes, I jogged non-stop. And they were amazed. Ori, kamal ho gaya. And to cut a long story short, in 3 months' time, out of the 256 people who were a part of that convention, 216 people ran 21 kilometers. And 3 months ago, 2 people had said, I think we can run. I assumed responsibility. And after that, we are such a fit fraternity where every now and then we have had sports convention, and so many people in the fraternity will say, sports convention changed our life. Some of you are scared to take responsibility. नहीं मैं बहुत busy है, मेरे पास time नहीं है. Think about people who are doing 5 times more work than you. Let's say, for example, Siddharth Gandhi is there and we ask Siddharth, hey Sidhu, ये कर लेगा क्या? And Sidhu says, नहीं ये साल में नहीं हो पाएगा, मेरा ना बहुत ये है ना, मेरा ना बहुत वो है ना, ऐसा है ना, वैसा है ना. And all I need to do is ask Sidhu, Sidhu, are there people who are doing 10 times more work than you are doing? तू 10% में इतना बिजी है, तो मतलब तुम वहां तो कभी पहुंच ही नहीं पाओगे, क्योंकि तुम बिजी हो ना. इस काम में रोज का आधा 1 घंटा लगेगा, तुम्हारे पास टाइम ही नहीं है. तो कल डबल ग्राहक आएंगे, तुम हैंडल कैसे करोगे? कर ही नहीं पाओगे, क्योंकि तुम्हारे पास ग्राहक को देखने के लिए टाइम ही नहीं है. तुम बहुत बिजी हो, कैसे ग्रो करोगे? नहीं ग्रो कर सकोगे. It's a myth that because you are busy, you can't be responsible. You'll have to make certain changes in life, and that is what you don't want. You are resisting change because you have self-doubts. मेरे से नहीं मैनेज हो पाएगा. And sometimes people look at you and say, तू कर सकता है. And you tell them, idiot, I can't. Somebody is saying, तू कर सकता है. They have seen something in you. And if they're genuine people, hug them and say, I don't know how we'll do it. With your support, I will do it. But I will never say no to a responsibility. And I'm not saying about distractions. I'm not speaking about taking responsibilities in an election campaign for a scrupulous politician. I'm saying things which are worthwhile. Things which will make you proud of yourself. Things which will help people. Or things which will help you to grow and develop. You're going to speak to children in class 10. And these children will have some friends who are not doing well in life. Tell them, take responsibility for a couple of students in your class who are struggling to study. Class 10 hai, puri dunya bolegi nahi, stay focused. I am saying don't be selfish. In the process of you teaching someone, you will learn much more than what you will learn when you sit to study all by yourself. Because I teach, I know the speed at which I learn. Every Sunday, I know I have the responsibility to take life lessons. Hence, every Sunday for 23 years, a new topic comes. And who grows the maximum? I grow the maximum. Because if I've given you something in 2 hours, I would have thought about it for 10 hours. Have the heart to take responsibilities. I remember the year was 2001. And a convention was about to be organized. And I went and told Rajan, who was the leader of Alma Mater, that give me the biggest responsibility. He said, but Naren, you don't even know what that will be. I said, that's okay. We are wanting to hold a convention. In the convention, there should be about 1,000 people. Whatever is the biggest responsibility you give to me, we will make it happen. And that day he said, if there is one person who will go ahead of me in training, it will be you. Because you have the heart and the mind to assume responsibilities. Nobody else has ever told me, he said, that give me responsibility. And I met him in a flight about 2.5 months ago. And he knew what I'm doing and what we are doing. And he said, if I have to make a small list of my top 3 students, you will always be there, Naren. And I would say it is because I have the heart to say, give me as much responsibility as you can, and we'll make it happen. So you'll find I never resist change. I joined an organization called Madras Junior Chamber. I was 23 years old. Oldest junior chamber in the whole world. Traditionally, when you join MJC, Madras Junior Chamber, first you become a member, then you become a director, then you become a cabinet person, like a secretary, treasurer, then the vice president, and the next year president. So it takes about 5 years. As usual, in 3 months' time, I told the board, whatever is the biggest challenge you have, which you are not able to solve in MJC, give that to me for 1 year. I will solve it and give it back to you. In 125 years history of MJC, I was made the first president in 1 year's time. Next year, I was made the president. Normally, it takes minimum 5 years. And I developed so much leadership skills because of my tenure as a president in Madras Junior Chamber. I became a part of an organization called SVP, Social Venture Partners. And it has some dons of the country, extraordinary professionals, brilliant entrepreneurs, think tank leaders, extraordinary people. I joined there, and there is something called lead partner, where we go and help an NGO to do well. And that time, the president of Madras was Ganesh Natarajan. And I went and told him, if there is any NGO which has potential but is not able to perform, give me that NGO and I will delight you with the results. And that was the beginning of my great friendship with Ganesh. And in 3 years' time, we took that organization from 25 people whom we are impacting to more than 500 people. And now, fortunately, in SVP all over the world, people know about this man called Naren. Because in the entire world, they have not had an NGO which was scaled from 25 to 500 in 3 years' time. So even today, when a new member joins, one of the case studies which is given to them is, so to know what SVP can do, here is what SVP, Jagruti and Naren did in Pune. The ability to assume responsibilities, ask for it. Understand this. When you do not ask, the answer is anyways a no. When you do not ask, the answer is anyways a no. When you ask, there is no guarantee you will get a yes. No guarantee. But there are chances you will get a yes, isn't it? Do you want that chance or not? All of us want these chances. All of us want these chances. And let me make a very, very big statement for all of you now. When you develop the ability to ask, you develop the ability to go for big things in life. The ability to ask is not ordinary. The ability to ask is an extraordinary ability. When you develop the ability to ask, you develop the ability to go for big things in life. I, without any hesitation, ask. Because if I don't ask, the answer anyway is no. But what if I ask and get it? Right from the age of 16, when I became the head boy for the first time, I realized the power of asking. And because we are embarrassed, or let's go back to the first 3 points. I think I will fail if I ask. I think people will reject me if I ask. I think I'm not good enough. So why will people give to me what I want? And because of that, I don't ask. I'm very smart. So I can analyze, but I'm not bold enough to ask. When you develop the ability to ask, you develop the ability to go for big things in life. I asked Mukul and Swapnil, darling, gaadi ho sakta hai? Let's say for some reason they would have said, nahi ho sakta, gaadi Baramati gayi hai aur workshop mein de diya hai, etc. etc. Koi baat nahi, I would have called Vijay. Hey darling, gaadi driver free hai? Let's say he would have said, nahi, I would have called Nilima. Nilima, gaadi hai, free hai, driver hai, free hai. I will keep on asking till I get what I want. I may get it from Swapnil, I may get it from Vijay, I may get it from Nilima, but my work will happen. But if I'm scared of asking, the work won't happen. So it begins with the ability to ask for small things. And then you can ask for the world. And it's such an extraordinary combination. I have the ability to handle responsibility on my shoulders. And I have the ability to ask for help. So then if Nilima Ladkat sends that car across with the driver and says, ye Naren, aap 3 din ke liye rakho, ye KMM ka kaam pura hone tak, tab tak main apna manage karegi. And the large-hearted person she is, she would have managed an auto, a Uber, she would have found a way for herself. Her life is not going to stop because the car is not there. मतलब कार नहीं है तो कोई बेकार नहीं होता यार. And I have the ability to take responsibility on my shoulders, and I would tell myself, for this darling of a lady, one of those days, I will create an opportunity to do something wonderful. And that's how the relationship becomes stronger and stronger. You do something for me, I do something for you, you do something for me, I do something for you. And suddenly we have such a strong bond. I don't do anything for you, you do nothing for me. हम कर क्या रहे हैं जिंदगी में? So to nurture boldness, step number 1, ask. Just ask. When you develop the ability to ask, you develop the ability to go for big things in life. Look into your life. If you don't have the ability to ask, chances are many of your dreams are bottled somewhere and you're not going for it. For those of you businessmen, without hesitation, ask for references. If you're good, people will be more than happy. If they don't refer, anyway, it's okay. So there are 2 steps to develop boldness. I told right in front. First is an ability to ask. The second, just do it. Go for action. Have a bias towards action. What is just to do it? Chase the dream. Remember I said we don't chase our dream. Just do it as action. Just do it as about change. Just do it about chase your dream. Okay, when you chase your dream, what will happen? 2 possibilities. Possibility number 1, you will not get what you want. And possibility number two, you will not get what you want. You will get what you want is different. Very easy, beautiful, relaxed, cherished, celebrated. But let me take you through point number two. And the way we will discuss point number two, your fear about failure should get eliminated today. You do not get what you want. Now listen. If you chased a dream and you did not get what you want, you will always get some things that you did not even know was available. What do I mean by it? All of you, listen very, very carefully. Let's say, for example, we're talking to kids in class 10, so 15, 16-year-old children, and we say that one of you want to be a part of a school choir. So you volunteer and you ask for an opportunity. Today you've learned ask, so you went and asked for an opportunity. I want to be a part of a school choir. There is space for about 12 and about 70 people are auditioning. So you go into it. Yes, I would like to be a part of the school choir. You have to take 2 hours out from your studies and you have to go and stand and practice the same lines for weeks together. After 8 weeks of practice, they announce the names and your name is not in that list. You asked for an opportunity and you did not get through. Let's say it was a failure. And the teacher said, you don't sing the high tones very well, it breaks, so it won't be right. But you know what you've got? You have learned that even without attending for 2 hours, you are still able to manage. You have learned about a few friends who are helping you after school with their notes, and some of them even explain things to you. You have learned that you are smart enough to go through the books. And even if you were not there in the class to listen to the teacher explain, you could read it. You have learned how to stay away from distractions. And after you went home, to create that 1.5 hours to study what you missed inside the classroom. So you have stayed away from many time-waste activities. You have learned that when you want, you can be so focused. Yes, correct. The answer is you did not get in the school choir. But do you know how much your life has developed? Have you realized how much you have grown? Could you see what is the amount of self-awareness you have about people, your own abilities? And if you had not volunteered for the choir, you would have never realized these things. So would you say failure to get selected as a choir singer was a failure? You got so many things. And you did not even know these things are there for asking. So the truth is, when I ask, I may not get what I want, but I will still get a few things that I did not even know was available for taking. Whether somebody wants to appear for the school football team and volunteers, same thing might happen. But you might become attracted towards fitness. You might realize the body you have is not meant for long aerobic activities, but maybe short bursts is your thing. You would have made some friends and you would have learned lessons on the football court during practice, which will help you in life. That extraordinary book, which I recommend for all girls and women, called It's Not About the Bra, where this lady footballer, having scored in the World Cup finals, got so excited she took off her t-shirt. She writes this incredible book called It's Not About the Bra. And the author of that book is Brandy Chastian. In that book, she writes that how did I excel as a footballer? From the time I've been playing football as a 5-year toddler, my grandfather will give me $50 every time I score a goal, but he will give me $1 when I passed and my teammate scored a goal. Which means you don't pass if there is no guarantee of a goal, because then you won't get that $50 also. But if somebody has a greater opportunity to score a goal, don't hog the limelight and want to say, I scored a goal. Give that ball to that player for them to score the goal. Brandy got $50 for scoring a goal, and she got $1 for passing, out of which a goal was scored. She said, I learned everything about relationships when I practiced football. So you see, even if you don't get what you originally wanted, you will come back with a goodie bag when you do it. Now, I might say something which most of you will not believe, but when I was in school, I was never the smartest, the handsomest, or the most likable boy. There were boys and girls who were much, much smarter than me. There were boys who were super handsome, and they always got a lot of attention. And of course, there are some boys and girls who knew how to be very likable. I was never my teacher's pet. However, I have grown tremendously in my life. How? I have nurtured and developed boldness inside me. Nurtured and developed boldness inside me. That is my secret to get what I want in life. Acha, you're saying, Naren, say, just do it. But what if I do it and I don't get results? Okay. Here are two things which worked for me. First, I have a rule. If there is something that I really want, I give it at least 10 attempts. That's my limit. If I really, really want something, I will give it at least 10 attempts. मतलब 10 attempt के पहले हार नहीं मानेंगे. If Bharti had told no, that no, I can't make all these sacrifices of life, I wouldn't have shrugged my shoulders and said, छोड़ जाने दे, अभी वो नहीं कर रही है तो अभी शायद मेरी किस्मत में ये नहीं. And then gone to one corner and sung a song. मेरी किस्मत में तू नहीं शायद. But फालतू बात. That was good. Give it at least 10 shots. I would have found another opportunity, another place, another time. And I would have told her, you know what this world needs? And I think I can give it to the world. करूं क्या? So no, कोई जरूरत नहीं. Okay. Then I would have found another time, another place, another occasion. And I would again said, Bharti, मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है. I wouldn't have given up. At least 10. That's my rule. That's my rule. What you want in life, at least 10 efforts. After 10 efforts, if it's not happening, then maybe you can let it go and go for something else which is bigger and better. But 10 attempts. 10 attempts. Very simple. Second, now this is what I did after the children had grown up a little. Rule number 2. To do it, rule number 1, give it at least 10 attempts. And rule number 2 is this. Naren, what is the kind of story you want to tell your children or your grandchildren? What is the kind of story about your life you want to tell your children? Do I want to tell my children or my grandchildren that I wanted to be a trainer, but your mother or your grandmother said no, no, so I dropped my dream? Is that the story I want to tell my children? I actually wanted to create a movement in education. I asked 5 of my students, and 4 of them said, no, this doesn't look practical. So I gave up. Is that the story I want to tell my children? No. So I always tell myself, go and create that story that you want to tell your children. Chalo, jao, uto, aage badho. Go and create the story you want to tell your children. So Prithviraj Sawant, Aparna, wonderful KMM volunteers from Kolhapur. And if they have some dreams and then they say, nahi, nahi, chhod dena. And you know what is the word that we use for ourselves? Be practical. What nonsense. If you have a dream, and if you think you don't have it enough to make the dream a reality, and if you are scared of failing, scared of what people will think about you, you don't believe you're good enough, then ask yourself this. What is the kind of story you want to tell your children? You want to tell them, hum nahi kar sake, tum karo. They will tell their children the same story. Hum nahi kar sake, tum karo. And we'll have a generation of, hum nahi kar sake, tum karo. Or would you say, there were some obstacles. You know what Papa did? You know what Mama did? 7 times we failed. But you know what we did? Go and create the stories you want for your children. Go and write that story now. And to make you understand the power of stories. Do you know during the Second World War, America had a list of Japanese cities they wanted to bomb. Nagasaki was not in that list. Kyoto was. Kyoto, Kyoto. Kyoto was in that list. But that city was removed from that list. Why do you think America removed Kyoto from that list? Well, Kyoto was removed from that list because America's Secretary of War, Henry Stimson, had gone there for honeymoon. He had seen the beauty and culture of Kyoto, and he did not want it to get destroyed. Hence, they dropped Kyoto and chose Nagasaki. You tell stories about your life, about your achievements, about the obstacles you overcome to your next generation, and they don't want to destroy it. And they want to go ahead and do something bigger and better. Give them stories to cherish. And in the classroom, you can tell the children to create stories that will make the parents proud. If there is any teacher inside the classroom whom they love, and the teacher in turn loves them, create stories which will make those teachers proud. If they want to be patriots, create stories which will make India proud. If they believe in God, create stories which will make your God proud. Go ahead and create the stories. For your parents, for your friends, for your teachers, for your nation, for your creator. मतलब वास्तव में अगर इज्जत है, वास्तव में अगर मोहब्बत है, वास्तव में अगर सपने हैं, if there is real gratitude, go and create some stories. And when you like the idea of creating great stories, you won't be able to destroy your dreams. Stories make huge impact. And that is why it is important to craft our own stories and shape them actively. As you craft your story, you are bound to fail many times. So let me say something else very powerful to you. Develop the capacity to fail. If not, then going for your dreams, chasing your dreams will be impossible. Develop the capacity to fail. Obviously, not intentional failures, not careless failures, not arrogant, overconfident failures. You did your best and results didn't happen. I wanted to go for choir. I went for choir. I was not selected. Then I go for football. Not I will want to be a class monitor. I will keep grabbing opportunities to be more responsible till I get clicked in one. And that becomes my story. I was rejected in A, rejected in B, rejected in C, rejected in D. But see how I got through in E. Maza aa gaya. I craft my story. If I do not have the capacity to fail, I do not have the capacity to chase my dreams. And why are we saying this? Because tomorrow some kids will want to go into IIT. Some of them will want to go into IIMs. Some of them will be in love and they will not get the person that they have loved. Even after 10 attempts, it won't work out. Let's have the capacity to fail. And then going for our dreams becomes possible. Now listen to this. Without going for your dreams, dull survival may be possible, but not exciting success. Without going for your dreams, dull survival may be possible, but not exciting success. And that is why this rule, whatever I want in life, give it 10 attempts. And I need not rub it into you, but chances are most people do not make 10 attempts. Forget about 10. Some people do not even make that first attempt wholeheartedly. Now let me take a small pause now and ask for something from each one of you. Can you tell me about one thing that you really want? And you promise me that you will give it at least 10 attempts. From today in your future, can you think about one thing that you really want? You want to chase that dream. You want to make that happen. It can be the amount of money you want to earn. It can be about the qualifications you want to have. It can be about the impact you wish to make. It can be about a marathon you want to run. It can be about starting an NGO. But write something which is a story that you can tell your children and grandchildren. A story. And you will give it at least 10 attempts. Take 2-3 minutes and write down the answer. Being a good human being is right now. You don't have to give it 10 attempts. It has to be an achievement. It has to be an achievement. Now, in the AC meeting, all the volunteers of KMM will share with your respective groups what is that amazing story you want to create, which you are going to give at least 10 attempts. That's how the AC meetings will begin this time. Let's talk about what are we going to chase? Just do it. Kidhar? To become bold, what responsibility will be assumed? And ask for help from your fellow team members. What's the help you want from them? So if Vijay Rathi says, I want to have KMM in at least 100 cities in India. And he tells his group that will each one of you help me identify 3 cities or villages or towns where we can have KMM school. And if Vijay has, let's say, 12 people in his group, he's asking for help. And each one of them can definitely suggest 3 places. Somewhere a mama might be there, somewhere they would have had their childhood, somewhere their best friend is staying, somewhere their in-laws are there. इस देश में हम 3 शहर नहीं निकाल सकते और 3 शहर में एक स्कूल की पहचान नहीं निकाल सकते और वहां पे 2-4 वॉलंटियर्स नहीं खड़ा कर सकते यार. कोशिश करोगे कर सकते हैं ना, 100% कर सकते. So now Vijay says, this is my goal. I want to have 100 schools, 100 cities where KMM is there, and I'm going to take help. Then he goes to his shop and he calls for a meeting of his 100 people and says, तुम लोग सबको KMM मालूम है, तुम लोगों ने सेशन सुने हैं, तुम नरेन को जानते हो, जो को जानते हो, अभी हमारे पास एक मिशन है. I have taken the responsibility to have KMM in 100 cities. अब तुम लोग 100 लोग हो, तुम लोग सब अलग अलग जगह से आए हो, कहां हम शुरू कर सकते हैं स्कूल में बताओ. And in 3-4 months time, for all that we know, just through one volunteer, and that is Vijay Rathi, we might be able to identify 100 cities in which KMM can be there. All Vijay needs to do is ask for help and go for it. Ask for help, go for it. Ask for help, go for it. क्यों नहीं होगा? ये ऐसे करने से ही होगा, दूसरा कोई रास्ता नहीं. Let me also share with you why this will not be possible. Not Vijay and the 100 cities, but why we will still not get what we want. Have you heard of something called gravity? Gravity. The purpose of gravity is to keep us grounded as well as to ensure we do not fly off. That is why, because of gravity, the Earth remains in one orbit, the Moon remains in one orbit, all the planets remain in one orbit. Let's say the kind of life you and me are living today is the orbit in which we are existing. More or less predictable life, more or less predictable work, more or less predictable people, and our life is routine. Now, a dramatic change in life is called the orbital shift. When will an orbital shift happen? It is only when we can go beyond gravity, because gravity ensures that we are in an orbit. While all of us know the physical universal gravity, each one of us at a personal level have many levels of gravity. What are these things? These are the things which will keep us down, which will keep us grounded, which will not allow us to fly. Gravity does not allow us to fly. So, what is our personal gravities? First gravity is personal gravity, which says, I can't do it. My self doubts. I have limitations that my mind has set on me. I want things easy in life. I have fear of failure, fear of rejections, and this conviction that I am not good enough. This is our personal gravity, which will keep us grounded, which will not allow you and me to fly. Then there is social gravity. What is social gravity? What is the opinion people will have about me? What other people are creating as pressure, my peers who are creating pressure on me. Our family pressure is also social gravity. The do's and don'ts from our family. And lastly, the comparison that people make between us and others all the time. So this is social gravity. Our personal gravity keeps us down. Social gravity also keeps us down. And finally, there is friends gravity. People who are sarcastic, people who urge us towards distractions, people who create FOMO inside us, that they are doing this, am I missing out on something? And finally, wrong company. This is called as peer gravity or friends gravity. Imagine that all these three gravities are working on you. So Vikas Bhau wants to have 10 showrooms of Bhakti cars in the city. And he also wants to start a second-hand SUV, exclusively SUV dealership. Now the dream is there. Now these gravities will work on him. First, the personal gravity will work. अच्छे लोग मिलते नहीं है, कहां से एक्सपैंड करें, नहीं चला तो, पैसा अटक गया तो बहुत तकलीफ हो जाएगा. Very smart person. So he will analyze everything that can go wrong. And then it will be छोड़ो ना, सब ठीक तो चल रहा है ना, क्या जरूरत है, अब अगला जनरेशन जो करेगा वो करेगा. Personal gravity. Then social gravity. अगर नहीं चला तो लोग क्या बोलेंगे, हम तो पहले ही बोलते थे मत करो, हमारी कौन सुनता है, क्यों अपने को दुनिया के बात सुनने का. And then of course he will have a set of friends who will have sarcasm. क्या यार 50-55 की उम्र में भी तो वो नया काम करना, आराम करना यार, etc. etc. So he has dreams, he has capability, he has the vision, he has the power, he has the resources, he has the experiences. Now let's imagine all of these gravities working on him, as a result of which we will have a tendency to give up before we start. We start telling ourselves what? Those two words, be practical. And when you tell yourself be practical, innovation and breakthrough ideas go for a toss. I just took Vikas's name because I saw his face and he was there and I know him very closely. But replace the name of Vikas, which came from me, with your own names. You have dreams, but you give up on those dreams before you start because of three gravities: personal gravity, social gravity, peer gravity. And all of this leads back to what? Self-doubts. And how do you break self-doubts? Just ask, just do it. What will that do to you? Build boldness inside you. Will I succeed? Oh no. but you're prepared to fail at least 9 times. And you realize when you fail to get what you want, you still get a lot that you did not want. So ultimately, every failure is making you richer. तो उसमें ना तो गम होना चाहिए ना शर्म होना चाहिए. और क्या मजा आएगा यार, क्या मजेदार लाइफ होगी. There are 4 kinds of people in the world. 4 kinds. Now please take a decision which kind you want to be. One is called phattus. You know what is phattus? मैं एक्सप्लेन नहीं कर सकता, ये पब्लिक में आप समझ लो क्या है. Phattus. Then you know the Buddhus. And I need not say what Buddhus are all about. And I know if you are over here, you are not a Buddha. I know if you are here, you are not a Fattu. Because those people don't join KMM. Third category is Damru. Now this is a very interesting category. Who are Damrus? Damru बहुत आवाज करता है. So there are some people who talk a lot. बहुत बात करता है. ये कर देगा, वो कर देगा, ऐसा कर देगा, वैसा कर देगा. He does everything except action. So these are Damrus. And the 4th category is Joe's favorite. Hood dabang 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 hood dabang. Now these are the people who actually make things happen, who get things done, who chase their dreams, who wear their failures like a badge of honor, who are smart, but more importantly, their boldness is always bigger than their smartness. So they don't allow the possibility of things going wrong, stopping them from chasing what are their dreams. So Buddhu, Dabang, Damru, and Fatu. Very simple question to all of you, my dear darling friends. Which one would you like to be? Are you okay being a Fatu? No stories to tell except I was so scared, so I did not. I was rejected, so I did not. You want to be like a Buddha, usko kuch मालूम ही नहीं है. ये सब चीजें उनको समझती नहीं है. I don't think you belong to that category. You want to be a Damru? Only talking, no action. Obviously, each one of us should be Dabangs. So you're going to ask this to children inside the classroom. कि भाई तुम लोगों को क्या बनने गए? And this last slide is kind of summing up the whole session for them. It will also become a visual for them that we don't want to be Fattus. We are not Buddhus. We don't want to be a loudmouth who only knows how to talk but not to act. हमको डमरू भी नहीं बनने गए. हमको दबंग बनने गए. You know, Joe created a firm which is called Dabang Yogis. Ekdam fearless people who go for what they want in life. And they're also yogis in nature, which means they're detached to the ugliness of things. A yogi only focuses on what he wants to do in life, and that is experience the divine. So Dabang is all Salman Khan types, all style and substance and girlfriends and money and power and masti. At the same time, a yogi. I didn't put in yogi over here, but I borrowed the Dabang from her and put it over here. So darlings, I am sure that each one of you would like to be, if I may, a Dabang. Now, how do you complete the session? A duck lays some eggs and they hatch. All ducks look similar except for one. Now, this one duck is bigger, is awkward, and has no webbing in its feet too. In other words, it looks very ugly. Till one day, it sees a swan and realizes, I'm a swan and not a duck. The egg somehow got mixed up and it was raised along with ducks. It realizes it is beautiful and it flies away. I find this story very powerful. This story talks to me. At some point of time in our lives, all of us have felt like the ugly duckling. We had tremendous pressure to fit in. We were beating ourselves for not being good enough and not able to fit in. Till we realized that we are swans, beautiful, strong to fly, and we fly away. Stories shape us. Here is an activity that you are going to do, and you will make every child in the class do this. Last time we had an activity for the children. This time there is another activity for the children. What is the activity? Very simple. Share a story with us that speaks to you, that stirs you, that is an anchor to you for your self-belief, for your drive, for your passion, for your dreams. One story in your life which you think, as long as you know this story, as long as you remember this story, you will be on the right path. So what you're going to do is, each volunteer will share in the volunteers group. All of you are divided into two groups. One is volunteer 1 and one is volunteer 2. There are two groups that we have. What you're going to do is, in the volunteers group, you are going to share with us a story which is less than 100 words. But the story must be something that stirs you. This is another thing that can be done for the children inside the school. In the school, you will tell the children, send us these stories in 7741085000. But as far as all of you are concerned, you will share the stories in the two WhatsApp groups in which you might be. You will be either in group 1 or you will be in group 2. You will write a story to us that speaks to you, that stirs you. The story must be less than 100 words, max 100 words. So this ugly duckling story that I just shared with you would be about 70-75 words. What are we going to do? When we complete KMM 2022, we will create an ebook called Stories That Stir. So we are going to create an ebook called Stories That Stir KMM Volunteers. And we are going to create another book called Stories That Stir KMM Students 2022. And let's assume we get about 1,000 stories. We will create a 1,000-story book. And then all the students who participate in this will be given that ebook for them to go through and understand. If there are 1,000 such stories which are stirring 1,000 lives, maybe one story of yours will stir somebody else and somebody else's story might stir you too. We are going to create an incredible book for eternity, forever. But if somebody says, I want some motivation in life, I want some kind of a story that excites me, I want something which will help me come out of my sadness or negativity. And these are stories which are not that which stirs me as an individual, but it's a story which stirs we as a fraternity. In a few years' time, I'm looking forward to that time when somebody shares a story with me where the hero of the story was you. Where they might look at Zainaz and say, I was in a class. Zena's ma'am came and spoke about why you won't get what you want. I decided to become a footballer. I got rejected many times, but now I'm playing for the Indian football team. How would it be? How would it be? So when you go inside the classroom with this conviction that this session will be a part of somebody's story in times to come. And this is the story they will tell their children and their grandchildren. When I was in class 9, I was shy, introvert, low confidence. I did know only one thing to do in life, and that was to study well. Class 10 changed everything. Similarly, these children should also, in a few years' time, say, class 10 changed everything. Why? Because this person, this ma'am or this sir or this friend of mine came from KMM, took this session, and this session became the turning point of my life. When we are able to take this session well, and if you can feel this session within, and if you decide to implement this session in your life and go inside the classroom with conviction that this can be the turning point in the life of children, we want to create our 10,000, 11,000 children as children who will not say, I am sad, I am depressed, I am going through anxiety attacks. हमारे बच्चों को नहीं होना चाहिए. They should stand apart from everybody else because they know that this is a part of life. There will be 90% failures, and yet we will make it super big in life. Enough of this thing called sadness and depression. Enough of anxieties. Let's make life, entire life like honeymoon, where we go and have some great time together. So I shared my story of ugly duckling with all of you. But I said there are times in life when there were bouts of huge self-doubts and a struggle to fit in. I'm looking forward to listening to, reading your stories. Have a great Sunday. Have a great week. Some of you are going to go for your first session this week. 2 back-to-back incredible sessions should be enough for these children to live a good life and should be enough for all of us to live an extraordinary life.